Hello, everyone. I know there isn't really a holiday today, but I'm going to make one up instead. Happy highest grossing film of all time day. Today, I'm going to review what is the highest grossing movie of all time. So, what is the highest grossing movie of all time? Okay, is it really that much of a surprise that Avatar is the highest grossing film of all time? I cannot describe to you how big this movie was when it came out. I mean, I wasn't really, uh, I was only one, but still, it came out. And it was massive. The scale was big, the music was big, the story was big, the characters, okay, they weren't really big, but they were tall. But of course, before we talk about anything, did you know that this video is sponsored by RichTRM? I'm just kidding. So before we start this video, I have to explain the plot of the movie because it's kind of important. So basically, the movie is set in the distant future of that year, where humans go to Pandora, which is a fictional gas giant in the Alpha Centauri star system, which is a real thing, in order to get this mineral thing. But they discover that there's a hostile humanoid colony on the planet that is stopping them from mining it. So they create the Avatar program, is the title, where people are, as I'm reading here, genetically uh, uh, engineered Navi body operated from the brain of a remotely located human that is used to interact with the natives of Pandora. And we follow Jake Sully, played by Sam Worthington. Uh, he is handicapped and he's doing this for his brother because, his brother was supposed to do it, but Spaghetti-O, he's dead. Of course, he's mocked for doing this instead of his brother. But so once he actually gets there, he makes a very quick connection to the Na'vi, and the more time he spends with the Na'vi, the more he realizes how precious they actually are. And tell me if you heard this before, has to change sides and has to pick a side whether he stay with the humans or become a Na'vi. So yeah, this film has a distinct reputation of being derivative of other movies, but I don't really see it. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't. Anyway, so before I praise the movie, I just have to crap on it first. So the plot, yeah, it's not the most generic thing ever made. It has a bit of unique elements, but of course, the goddamn, oh boy, the message. This movie has your typical message of save the trees. Yep, that's right. We're dealing with an environmentally conscious film. Yay! Now, it's not like other movies like Fern Gully where it's literally poking at you saying save the trees. Like, yeah, is this our message? Is this suddenly getting our message across? Huh? That's basically what Fern Gully is. But Avatar, it's a little bit more subtle, but at the same time, it's not a little bit more subtle. They could have made it a little bit more subtle. Also, the villains, man, they're so bland and forgettable. They really leave no effect. They're just a typical villain of we do this because we're evil and we want money. Wah ha 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 ha. And I really don't care for that type of villain. It's just a pathetic excuse for a villain. It's just boring and don't make a lot of sense, and I really don't care. So yeah. Okay, so some of the plots and some of the villains are kind of forgettable, but of course you can't talk about Avatar without talking about the visual effects, which, yeah, they look good. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, some of the effects might look a little bit not so good anymore. Man, it is impressive to see how so much of the CGI still holds up even to this day. Uh, and this came out in 2009, 13 years ago. A lot of movies from a long time ago don't really look that good anymore because CGI has developed. But of course, now that with the sequel has come out, this definitely looks a lot worse than initially thought. But at the same time, it's still impressive how this still holds up even a little bit. But man, some shots look so bad. It literally looks like they were just green screening everything. at this point with some of these shots, especially in like some background shots or something. Also, sometimes some of the Navi look like they're just staring dead into the soul of a human being with like the way their some of their eyes look, which doesn't really work that well. So yeah, there's that. Now, of course, you can't talk about Avatar without talking about the biggest age-old question of all: is Neytiri hot? Which, now that I've seen both movies, I have the answer to that question for myself. I do not. Yeah, I know it's a crime, oh boo hoo hoo, but I never really found her that hot, to be honest. Not really. Anyway, that's the end of that discussion. Anyway, to be fair, there isn't really that much to talk about in this film that no one else has already said before. It made a. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention its whole forgabble with the whole. Oof. Yeah. The box office. Let's talk about that. So when this film came out, it obviously made a lot of money, and it became the highest-grossing movie of all time. And at the Oscars, it somehow got nominated for Best Picture, which is like. Actually, let's actually look at the Best Picture nominations of that year, just to give you an idea of what other movies Avatar was up against with. Now, granted, I haven't seen all the films of that year, but yeah. So this movie was up against The Hurt Locker, The Blind Side, District 9, An Education, Inglourious Basterds, Precious, Serious Man, Up in the Air, and Up. Up, which in my opinion is one of the best animated movies and movies of all time. So somehow Avatar got nominated for Best Picture. I can see why, but at the same time I don't see why. But you know, if you like it because it got Best Picture, if it got nominated for Best Picture, then fine. But also, it was the highest grossing movie of all time until this little boy right here, Avengers Endgame, came out with its 3 hour long fat ass and made even more money. But then Avatar was re-released in China, and oopsie whoopsie, it got even more money now. And it's literally the highest grossing movie of all time now. And of course, the sequel was made, Avatar: The Way of Water, and literally a month ago. So, and it's also 3 hours. Hell, it's longer than the first movie and Avengers Endgame. It's like all the long ass movies are 3 hours long. What the hell? But yeah, it's made a lot of money already, and it's already become fourth highest grossing film of all time. Which, like, wow, who could have seen that coming? Me. I did. So yeah, that's basically the so that's basically the movie. My review of Avatar. There's really that much to talk about with the movie. It's really good. I like I like the characters. Well, some of them. I like the effects look really impressive, and sometimes the message is very subtle. But at the same time, the villains are so generic, and the message is also not subtle. And some of the effects don't look that good. It's just kind of there. It may not. It is one of the most important films, but to me, it's just a film, a good one, but not that good. I give the film a 7.5 out of 10. 7.5. Yes, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I really gotta go number 2. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and tomorrow I'll be doing an episode on the second movie. So stay tuned for that. Goodbye.